Okay, we'll start without Luke. So today we're bringing it all together.
Nice.
Let me get paper. You need some paper.
Where's my Android cutting in and out?
My purse is wet. Thank you. Perfect.
So what we're talking about today is really about next week. This is blank right now. Just want you all to help me fill this out. I don't know if you can see that, Jenny.
I can see it. The 7 compartments of the sub.
Actually, I'm talking about on my camera.
Oh. Executive workshop.
Yeah, that's it. Next week, we're going to be doing an executive workshop here. Mike
Here?
right here,
Okay.
and you can invite people.
Okay.
Okay, it's open to the public.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's going to be good review for everybody here. If we're going to go through the cell, basically. And so what I wanted to do today was, in order to help me, I'm not going to do a dry run of it, but I'm going to do some parts from it. And I want you all to play along. And you'll see why, what this is, what an executive workshop is, executive brief, whatever you call it. It's a way to show people how Sandler works. It's just enough, it's a little candy.
Right, to get enticed.
We spill a little candy to see if they want to come in and become a student.
Okay.
Okay.
So I need my
Marker.
one couple more. So I don't know if he wants to come in or not. Should we start without him?
Yeah.
Fine.
Definitely.
I guess people are
He wants-
fighting the rain to get here.
Yeah.
I know what Chris is. I'm going to. All right, come on. Where's this thing? Not what I wanted it to do. So today is a problem-solving clinic. And we're doing an executive briefing here next week. So I'm going to be looking for feedback on what we should put in the executive briefing next week and what should not be there. You've been to an executive briefing, right?
For Sandler?
Yeah.
Is that one of the management meetings?
No, it's the teaser. It's where you come in and watch Eric do the thing for 2 hours and then he asks you for your money at the end.
Yes. I'm very, very well versed in it.
He doesn't really do that. Why does his phone keep? My phone keeps resetting. I guess it's trying to update the Zoom. Forgive me, technical difficulties.
You don't have one of those pins in your,
See, it keeps.
we had comments from this.
No, it's going down. No, it's not that. That doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
So, anyway, what is your biggest challenge in sales? If you have to think, I would have made more money this year if I could. How do you finish the sentence?
Close.
All right.
I'm going to say get your foot in the door.
Get in the door. Is that my phone just shut off?
Okay.
I don't know why it's doing that. It must be the internet connection. Okay, foot in the door. Anybody else got one?
Foot in the door is a big one, yeah.
All right. Another one there.
Feel more confident and comfortable. Confident.
Comfort level. Okay. At my last sale, the mistake I made was
Leaving a message.
voicemail, jail.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It worked out, but
Okay. Anybody else?
scared me.
No upfront contract.
Hmm.
You're not supposed to know what that is.
Oh, shoot, sorry.
I wonder why this thing's having trouble. It's got to be the internet. You know what? I'm just gonna. Well, it's just so they can see
Well,
everybody.
we're very conceited, so we need to see ourselves in the way.
Everyone gets a cell.
Yeah. Get your own video.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And this one is relying on an internet connection, which I guess is because of the weather is not very good. So I'm just going to shut this one off.
Ah.
We record this, I send it out, and everybody says, I can't see everybody. So, if you can't see Kathleen from that camera. Oh, she's hiding. No, I don't want to be seen. Yeah.
That's a good
You gotta,
idea.
we gotta sell us a spot now.
All right, so, okay, now, other than that, I lost the last client, because I left a voicemail.
We didn't make the sale because I didn't get level 4 pain.
Again, that's stuff that somebody who doesn't,
Actually,
Try to
that's
put
a
it in
really-
non-Sandler terms.
Okay, I didn't dig deep enough for pain so that it was.
I didn't find a
Guttural.
reason.
We didn't find the,
Reason for them to
Yeah.
buy.
No compelling reason to buy.
Enough.
Yeah.
Or not compelling enough, okay? Anybody get a problem with their price?
Price is usually the problem for some people, not everyone.
Price is usually a problem.
It's a fix for me. I can't do anything about it.
Okay, what do you sell?
No tandem. Life damage.
So, price too
Sell
high? Has
activator.
anyone ever told you your price is too high?
Activates yourself to make it.
Anyone?
Mine is that I actually gave a quote and they took it back to the company that they were working with, and that company was like, okay, fine, we'll meet that.
They shop.
What do you sell?
She does what I do. She's one of our franchises. So, but actually, why don't you tell Donovan what you sell, Ginny?
You want me to tell him what we do?
I want to hear your 30-second commercial.
On the spot.
Okay.
no purpose.
Where is he? Because I'd like to look at him.
Oh.
Hi,
Hey,
nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
And Donovan is your name?
Good to meet you. Donovan Pyle.
Donovan? Hi, Donovan, I'm Ginny.
Hey, Jenny.
What we do is we work with companies. We help them with their HR issues. We help solve problems with employees, and we bring things to the table like helping you with your payroll, helping you with your workers' comp insurance. You know, you have employees, right?
I don't.
You don't have employees?
Pretend you did.
I have 3.
All right, well, that blew it out of the water. He doesn't have employees.
It's a good try. I know where you were going there. I'm glad you started to go there. So what she's going to say is like, do you have employees?
Yeah,
So,
they're a pain in the butt,
Are
right?
they perfect?
Are they perfect?
Yeah. That's our kind of our latest tagline.
I know. So, Will, you've saved me because sometimes I don't know where to start. So I just kind of start and then I realize, okay, wait, I have to ask the question. You have employees, right?
You've got to have your 5 pain points or whatever they are. You know, 3, 4, 5 pain points. You always start your 30-second commercial with, you know, I'm Ginny, I'm with Employernomics, okay? We help, I like the opening line I have is we help employers reduce the cost and risk of having employees. We focus on 5 critical areas, sorry, haven't had my coffee yet, I'm waiting for that, waiting for the
Coffee yet?
well, not enough. So
There's 2 cups right here, all right?
in HR procedures, training, and documents and compliance, are you sure that your company's in full compliance? Workers' comp, is this an annual hassle? You know, risk management, would you like to reduce the risk of a claim of any sort from an employee? Is that something you worry about? Employee benefits. Is it costing too much to get your employees' health insurance? We're going to work with you on that. And payroll and taxes. We like to protect our client from getting those love letters from the IRS or the Florida Department of Revenue. So if you know anybody that has these problems, if they have employees and they're not perfect, we might be able to help them. But you know what? We can't help them if they don't call.
So I have a question on that. When is the good time?
Why don't I ever record this?
You don't like what?
I said, why don't I ever record this? And then I remembered, oh yeah, you record it.
I'm recording.
When is the time that you use the 30 seconds? Not when somebody says, what do you do? Hi, how are you? When is the time?
So you think when you're just sitting with somebody casually, you don't want to do a 30-second commercial?
I'm asking.
Well, I would say to them, you want my 30-second commercial?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Icebreaker.
Would this be a good time to do my 30-second commercial? You could just say that, right? I would say the best time to use a 30-second commercial is obviously at any networking event. We know that, right? So if you're at a networking event and someone says, you know, who you are, what you do, give me the 30-second commercial. But when you're just sitting down with on the phone, I use it on the phone. If I'm cold calling somebody or I've told somebody to call and I'll get to some point like, okay, yeah, tell me that. Someone said we should talk. You know why that is? And then I'll say, I don't know, what do you do? And I go, oh, did I forget that part? Can I take 30 seconds to kind of tell you what it is we do? And you tell me whether we should keep talking? Does that make sense? Have you ever done that? 800 number? Who calls from an 800 number?
Telemarketers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
They
had
got a 30-second commercial for you.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a 30-second one. So, and I'll tell them, okay, well, this is what we do. We introduce employers reduce costs, blah, 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 blah. Does any of that sound interesting? And if they say yes, we keep talking. No, then no, you're not a prospect. So we probably shouldn't keep talking. And that's when they get a chance for them to tell you they lied. Oh, wait a minute, I just thought of something.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll say, but you know, if we shouldn't keep talking, do you know anybody I should be talking to? Have you heard anybody complaining about their employees recently? So you need to know what it is that remember we did that graph a few weeks ago? What does the pain, what does a person in the pain that we fix look like? Right? Sound like? What do they say? What do they complain about? We had an ad campaign that we did for a brief time. It didn't really work too well, but we said we're looking for Fred and Frida Frazzle. They own a small business. They got 10 to 20 employees and they're driving them crazy and they look like this. And I showed a picture of a lady with her hair out like this and she's going, So anyway, what else? Dwayne, if I would have made more money last year if I could just I could have sold more business if I'd only
And more people working.
I have no idea.
okay.
I haven't even thought about it.
You're just doing so well that,
I've been so busy, I haven't even thought about it.
so if you had more time,
Yeah.
Doing that, yeah, time's what I'm saying. I don't know what the time is because I'm tore up whether it's going to be either me doing sales or somebody else doing sales, me doing more of the business side or what it is, but I don't know what that would be.
if you had a competent salesperson, okay, what we're doing here is problems that people have. I'm not answering all of them. I'm going to pick
I'm
and
just going to
choose.
guess that might be what it would be.
Any of these,
No.
kick trouble closing, foot in the door, comfort level talking to people, that's not you. Voicemail jail, no compelling reason to buy. Price too high,
Yeah, sometimes.
okay.
I kind of know. I feel that out. I mean, I know what a business. It's going to take to run a business, and I know they don't want to spend it. It's like I just move on. I don't care. I decided that with you. I'm not.
Did anybody ever shock you?
I don't know.
Long time, yeah.
And those two go hand in hand.
There's all these little noises.
I'm sorry, I'll turn it down.
Your
You're right.
Your phone vibrating.
I turned it off. I turned it to off. I mean, now it won't make a noise. It won't vibrate. It won't do anything. It's not that I mind. It's just that I suddenly look like,
Mhm.
It always shoots our attention, doesn't it?
who's attacking me? You know, I've been learning to be defending myself. You've seen the Monty Python skit, right? No, I'm not even going to go there. That's too esoteric. Got to use that word today. So, looking at some of these, when we think of ourselves as a salesman and we walk in, I'm going to ask you, Don, how do you walk in to somebody that's a brand new sales, brand new prospect? What's the first thing you say?
Just like anybody, just start talking and saying hello and,
Suppose it's on the
what's going
phone.
on?
Hi, what's your hobbies?
How's it going?
What are your
I don't
hobbies?
know. How do you talk to anybody? Introduce yourself and
Do you say, how's it going?
sure.
Do they answer?
Yeah.
What's the thing?
Just
Oh,
like-
it's going terrible. Geez, the
Yeah, it's like when I
cancer's,
walked in here today.
the cancer's kicking in, I only got 2 weeks to live.
Bills are piling
Don't
up.
lie to you, but that's okay.
I always say I'm very, very happy that we got a chance to meet, inviting me to talk about your needs.
Right.
And just start building that.
Why did you walk up and start talking to me?
Because you talked to a human being before. You know how to do these things.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
So what are we doing? I like what he said.
Just put a rapport.
You asked me to come in today, so what was that for?
Yeah.
You said thank you for
Thank you.
inviting me in. I like that.
Yeah.
So as a sort of friendly way of saying, why are we here? What's our purpose today? What are we hoping to accomplish? Everybody's got a way of saying that.
Yes.
So what does that do right away?
Comfort level breaks down the, I don't know, the walls.
You do.
It gives the prospect the opportunity to tell you what they're looking for, what their problem is.
Opens them up.
That tells you, instructs you, the salesperson, how to sell them.
Is it going not okay, or is it just going something? I don't know.
Let me try something with you, Donovan. So I'll be your prospect, okay? And I'm sitting here, and I look. Somebody told me, Denise told me you could help me with health insurance.
I did.
Okay.
So I don't know what you do. Why don't you tell me what you do? Take 30 seconds to tell me what you do.
Yeah, and I'd love to get to that, John, but tell me, what is it about health insurance, or what are you trying to achieve? What's the problem?
What are we trying to achieve? We're trying to get some of our people to have coverage, like what Jason's kid broke his arm,
Like towards
broke his
ACL.
leg,
Oh,
Towards
man.
towards ACL. So
Second time.
and it was $3,000 out of pocket.
Oh, boy.
And we kind of want to avoid that.
Okay. So what would be the ultimate goal? How is that related to your business? Why?
I need to keep Jason happy. I need to keep him here.
Do I keep you here?
Yeah, I need to keep him here. Yeah. I got 7 years invested in it.
You just hit the pain.
6 or 7. Which one was it? 2000?
I don't know.
It's been since, we've been here since what? When did I get here? 200?
So is that what you do?
So you want to keep your employees happy because why? Because if you lose that employee, what is
You
that?
try to replace it, you lose
It's
business.
just investment.
Yeah.
How much?
I don't know. I can't put a number on it because it's never happened before.
Time.
I've not been in this position before.
Yeah. How much revenue does it bring in?
I don't have no way to put a number on it.
Okay.
He's not a salesperson. He's IT. So there's no.
He's the backbone.
For
Yeah,
him, it's
he's
of
time.
the business.
He's one of the two people here, me and him, that understand everything.
So if you had to guess,
Hey, what's up? What?
okay, so why don't you take over?
Okay, taking over, what is it?
So if you had to guess, what's it going to cost you to replace Jason?
A lot of time invested in retraining,
Yeah.
building a rapport with that person, trusting that person, and the finances is probably a problem, but not as much as the for the time involved in training.
And then you could be down, you know.
Could lose money, yes, yeah.
while you're looking for
You
something.
could,
I can't.
you could measure decline if you can't support them as fast as they used to be supported.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I could pick up as
Could
much,
lose.
I could pick up as much stock as I could while waiting for I find somebody, but then there's a whole transfer of knowledge what Jason knew and how I got this person up to speed.
Yeah.
What's your time worth an hour?
Hmm.
Yeah, I won't go there.
No, really though. I mean,
You have to put a
do you know
price on
that
it.
number? What you're worth
I
an
have
hour?
no, I have no idea. I have no way. I don't have that. I don't go down to that much to analytics.
You want to try to figure it out?
Yeah,
Surely.
no, because he'll start charging me for his time.
I told her I'm gonna start giving her a bill.
I mean, let's just say your business is successful. Obviously, Net Complete's very successful. We're making a certain amount of money a month. How much do you pay yourself? Round numbers. Are you giving yourself 1,000 a month? Are you giving yourself 10,000 a month? Are you giving yourself 100,000 a month?
I like the last one.
Yeah, everybody.
7,000 a month.
So 7,000 a month, and there's obviously not 31 days in a month because you don't work. Try not to work weekends, I'd say.
Oh, no, but I'm on call 24/7.
So you might want to get your calculator out for this one. So let's just say there's
numbers person.
2.2. There's 4.2 weeks in a month, which is what the average is, right? So if we divide 7,000 by 4.2, I don't know what that number is. What do we come up with?
1666.
1666.
That's not a good
1666.
number. Change that.
We'll call it 16.1.
There you go.
1667, okay. Now that's actually going to come out great, because divide that by 168.
Oh, yeah, right.
Because there's
What's
168 hours in a week. It's going to be about $9 an hour, right?
Yeah,
$90 an
there you
hour.
go. Oh, hang on. What am I doing?
Divide that by 168.
9.92.
That's if you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're making $10 an hour.
99.2.
Now divide it by 40. 1667 by 40 hours.
24. 25. I don't get it.
Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing
Good,
something
sure.
wrong.
Oh, look at that. He saved us.
Sugar man.
Andrew, this is Dwayne, Denise, Donovan, and Kathleen, and Jenny's on the. Here, I pulled this here.
One
Oh, okay. Cool. So you figured out how much it is now?
divided by what? Am I dividing it by?
That's 1667 by 40.
40. Is that 40 hours?
Yep.
4168.
So that's what you're worth a month, an hour minimum, right? That's not.
4168.
That's just how much you're paying yourself. And then how much you're gaining that in your company, right? Yeah. So your time is worth a minimum of whatever that is an hour. And so how many hours is it going to take to retrain someone like Jason if he has to leave?
Oh, a lot.
Several weeks, right? So what are we looking at to replace Jason? Say 20 times 40. How much is that?
Oh.
800.
And that's half a week. Yeah. So if it takes us 5 weeks, so 5 times 8, that's at least $4,000 to replace Jason. At least just for your time. And I know there's other people working here too, right?
Well,
So how's it going to affect them?
not much.
Not so much. He kind of works on his own.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't like the guy. You don't care if he leaves, right?
He's a contractor. He's not employed.
Okay, so you don't care if he leaves.
Sorry, Robert.
Oh, wait, we're talking about Robert?
He's not even here. No, but Robert doesn't have that knowledge base that's hard to replace.
I'm talking about Jason.
Oh, Jason. I'll get back to Jason.
We don't care if Jason leaves, do we?
But I want to make the point clear that they know I did.
So why am I making you repeat it?
I have no idea. I'm a D person. You can't make me repeat stuff. I don't like it.
All right.
There you go.
But I like what Donovan was doing. The first thing he's going for is like, he's quantifying your problem, isn't he?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I already knew all that. That's why I told you I need to get the plan.
There's a lot of
You
people
didn't know
that
what your hourly rate was, did you? Did you learn anything out of that?
Yeah, my hourly rate, but I think it's higher than that.
$40 an hour, that's a minimum.
It's way more.
It's definitely more than that. That's just what your salary is, you know, not what all the, what you, like I said, generating equity and growth, business, profit. So, I mean, this company is worth way more than $7,000 a month to you.
Yeah, but
I mean, if I offered you $7,000 a month for your company, would you give it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so I forgot the reason we were doing that.
Well,
Was it just,
we were, but
why, what do you do
he
when you
kind of
first?
went right into it.
Yeah.
I was hoping he was going to do a 30-second commercial, because I haven't heard your 30-second commercial.
Mm.
So could you give us 30 seconds, kind of give us an overview of what you do?
Sure. So, as we all know, healthcare, especially if you watched the debates last night,
Why would we want to?
healthcare is the #1 issue in the country. If we don't take some fresh approaches to solving this problem, we're going to have bigger political issues than we will right now. So, with that said, I help businesses that are concerned about rising healthcare costs because they understand it affects every other part of their business. They are not sure if they're in compliance with the Affordable Care Act. We'll have to do that. And then also, lots of people are just not happy with their current vendors. So we look at service-related issues. Now, you probably don't have any of those issues because we don't have a healthcare program. But if we do, we might be able to help you out.
Now I have a little better feel for what he does.
Yeah.
Any comments on this?
End it with a action. Action.
Yes.
You got
If you think you might have any of those problems, send me a calendar invite, see if we can help.
That's good. Also, I wouldn't lead off with the politics.
It's the truth.
Yes, and how many people want the truth?
Not many.
As soon as he said that,
As soon
my
as you're-
mind twisted right to, I lost my freaking insurance over Obamacare.
It's
That's
funny
what I
that
was thinking.
it's funny that I hear the word truth and Democratic debates in the same sentence. That's, you know, if there's any place that was totally devoid of truth, it was there.
It was great. On the
You
topic
watched it?
yeah, both nice. On the top, I mean,
Wow.
the naivete on the topic of healthcare,
Yes.
you want them to take over further control?
Yeah, it's very
What?
scary. I know, very
Whoa.
scary. So I just had to bail on that whole thing because it's too nerve-wracking.
So, anyway, there are a lot of good things happening in the industry. They don't get a lot of airplay. And, you know, I write articles on the topic for Yahoo Finance,
Oh, cool.
and specifically to give a voice to some of the good things that are happening in the industry, and there are quite a few. So,
Okay, what you just did there, that was kind of, you gave in a good reference. How have you
I
done that
like that.
a little better there? You just blurted it out. Can you phrase it as a question? What if you said, would it make a difference if you had somebody who was actually writing articles on and being published on Yahoo
Yes.
Finance? I don't know if that matters to you or not.
yeah, does it matter? I mean, when you hire someone to fix something in your house, is it usually like a handyman, or do you want, you know, someone who's a master electrician?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Less,
I'm just talking.
no,
That's
and we're here to help, you know, but go a little less okay. That's what I'd say. Yeah, go less okay, because you want to be not okay. You want them to be okay, you to be not okay.
Okay. I don't really know what that means.
We haven't gone into that? Oh,
Yeah.
you're still, how long have you been going to Salmon?
6 weeks.
Okay, so we haven't gotten to that yet. We'll get a little.
I mean, I've seen it, you know, but it's not really.
If you look at the okayness, I'm okay, you're okay. It's from that book, which I've never, Jenny's read it. I haven't read the book yet. You're gonna send me your copy, remember?
I don't, what?
You're gonna send me your copy of I'm okay, you're okay?
I don't have it.
Well, I thought you said you read it. Hmm.
That wasn't me.
Who else am I doing Zoom meetings with?
I
Boy,
don't know.
Yes,
anyway, forget the memory.
Kathleen wants to know.
Let's get into I'm okay, you're okay. If someone is on the level playing field, they treat each other equally. But if someone is up here and then someone comes in here and they get talked down to, how do they feel? How do you feel when someone's talking
Not
down?
okay.
You
Like a
want to
child.
pull them down, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just want to get up and walk out. I'll show them. I've been thrown out of nicer places than this.
Always.
Right. So we don't want to be there. We want to be here. We want to be, because what do you do when somebody's struggling? They're not stupid. I'm not saying be stupid, but someone's just out of their element. They're struggling a little bit.
Gonna help them, right?
You want to lift them up.
Make them comfortable.
So when you say something, would it matter if I said that I got published in Yahoo Finance? I mean, that probably doesn't mean much. I mean, does it? I don't know what it means. Is it hard to get published in Yahoo Finance?
Yeah.
It is? Okay, I don't know that. You probably know that.
I would have not been.
I would think that anybody who just writes an article on Yahoo Finance, if it's on there, but there are sites like that. You can just, like blog, write anything. So that's pretty cool. But you might want to ask if it matters.
Yeah, so for most companies, healthcare is their second or third largest expense for that payroll. So would it matter, given the gravity of that line item, would it matter that to you if you're working with, if you work with a healthcare expert, somebody who's certified in the field, or are you okay with someone who's just got an insurance license? Does it matter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I guess you got no one on the
so am I
phone. Where's Robert?
Am I supposed to tell them? They're all out before. Am I supposed to brag?
No, at that point.
You see, that's why you don't want to, that's what I'm trying to get, you want to get that information out without pressure. That's
Right.
And I know what you're trying to do. And it's tough
Yeah.
because it sounds like I've been publishing Yahoo Finance. It reminds me of that guy, remember Good Morning Vietnam?
Yeah.
You remember the guy who wanted to go on and be the DJ? He says, I'll have you know, Reader's Digest is considering publishing 2 of my jokes. And that's what it sounds like. You sound a little kind of like, all right.
You don't. There's people that do that.
Yeah, you can come off that way.
Well,
Yeah, so
I'm not saying,
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
I know.
so I kind of want to avoid,
Right.
how do you do that?
How do I position myself without sounding like a douche?
See you in the dude. That's you watch Tour de France at all?
Wouldn't watch that couple of days.
Well, that's the expression they say when somebody's dying. Because douche is sour in French,
Yeah.
right? So all the Americans have jumped on that. So in other words, they think, see you in the shower. See you in the dude. There's a T-shirt that
That's
says,
funny.
Wait, you're breaking up. What did you say?
Not
Oh,
important.
just a-
Yeah.
not
Doesn't
important,
matter.
stupid joke, Tour de France
Okay.
joke, cycling joke.
Oh, gotcha.
So anyway, looking at these, oh, by the way, what we're doing here is what are the challenges here, Andrew? So this is having trouble closing, getting the foot in the door, comfort level talking to people. I believe that's all of us, not just Kathy. Being stuck in voicemail jail. You know what that is? Anybody been there?
Oh, yeah.
True story. I got in voicemail jail before I got into Sandler. And I kept calling this person. I always get voicemail. And then my Sandler instructor at that time, Greg, said, why don't you call her using my phone?
Mhm.
She answered the phone. And the first thing she said was, oh, hi, John. Did you get a new phone?
And what did you say to that?
Huh?
What did you say to that?
I said, no, my battery's dead, so I'm borrowing someone else's. But hey, since I got you on the phone, let's talk.
Nice.
So that's the definition of voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't find a compelling reason to buy, or at least not compelling enough, right? And we know in Sandler that it's not enough pain, right? Okay, now, but next week there's going to be people coming in here. We're going to start talking about pain, and I think, what are these doctors? So we got to be careful about throwing those words around. Price too high. When you were selling, what were you selling?
At the advertising
Yeah,
stuff?
the advertising for
we were
that.
selling advertising for nursing newsletters. in a print publication. A little archaic.
What
This was only 4 years ago too.
Finish the sentence. I would have sold more except for,
The price was too high.
okay. Anything else in there? Anything that isn't?
Oh, I ended up in voicemail jail all the time.
Okay.
Which anytime voicemail would pop up, I never left a
you learned
voicemail.
it.
I stopped
Yeah.
leaving voicemails and I just started attacking from different angles.
Well, so I look at this as two separate things in my sphere, because I think of it as having a very established client base that I generate the majority of my sales from. That's why I don't ever look for the outside. That's why the outside sales doesn't really cleanse my head too much, because the inside sales that I get from current client base, I've got 70-some customers, and I always need something new. Every 3 years, the servers are outdated. Every 2 years, they need. And there's not really a sales. It's time to replace it. Okay, what's quote? It's quote. They buy
Got a
it.
long lifetime value.
They buy it. So I don't go through a lot of these functions. So therefore, I don't consider that sales, even though that is sales. But it's not really. It's like I have a customer call me the other day. We need a host of VoIP. We know you the host of VoIP. We're going to go with you. What's going to cost us?
All right, so they didn't know your products.
They did know our product. We do host of VoIP.
So they called you.
I thought they called you, so we didn't know you hosted.
No, so that we know you did host of VoIP.
Oh, no, never mind, I didn't hear you right.
Yeah.
That's, he speaks like that.
Yeah. So our contract just ended with our current vendor. Let's go ahead and get it set up and going. What do we need to do?
Sure. So you've got lots of cross-selling you can do.
It's all within. Like majority of my sales can't come from inside my current clients, not from outside clients. I don't like go out and find new clients every day. Even though I do get new clients, it's not because I go out and find them. They find me through referrals, or they find me through whatever. So
He's making me feel very not okay right now.
Right.
that's not my. But I don't have. I'm not easy. I don't relate to a lot of the stuff you guys talk about.
Right. You're not coming.
It's not that you don't want to relate to that, because you do.
I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm saying I don't relate to it. So it's hard for me to talk about those issues.
Right, he
That
doesn't
it doesn't. I don't.
I'm definitely feeling less okay by the minute.
That's okay.
Okay, this is the after picture.
There we go.
This is the
I
after
need to see
picture
the
of our
after
sales
picture.
training. But there still has to be challenges. Like you said, you have your clients call you up and you use that technology, that new client.
Well, I'm not saying there's not a challenge. I just don't relate to a lot of these things because I don't knock the doors on the voice. There's a lot of things I
What
don't
are the
do.
challenges? You think of any challenges right now?
Having enough time to talk to everybody.
Yeah, the time is big.
That's the biggest thing. By time, I could probably go out and add to my current client base every single one of my services and probably add another 40% to my business.
So if you could clone another Dwayne,
Be easy. This is my
we know you're going through something there.
Well, my dad's been sick a lot lately, so.
Yeah, that's not fun time. Okay, so Andrew, so you're working on recruiting right now for veterans to find them jobs. So you're not really up and running yet, so you haven't had a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
So but when you were,
I can foresee some challenges though.
what do you see coming up?
Big time, because this is no small undertaking. I think the challenge, because we have, like we talked about the other day, I have the people in the top portion of the funnel. I've got 100 some people that are looking to either move that have jobs right now, or are just looking for work. Right?
Yeah.
And just to kind of caveat, just to kind of explain a little bit about this. So this isn't like, we're not trying to do the run of the mill, like, hey, we're just going to help veterans, right? My wife and I are both veterans. And we've seen the challenges of how hard it is for that veteran to relate to that job. They may be overqualified for that job. Problem is they can't get that job because they don't either know how to get it on the resume, right? Which is a huge deal. They tell you that they're going to give you resume writing classes when you get out. They don't. It's horrible. It's an absolute train wreck. And then all those other challenges that come with it. We're kind of slowing down coming out of a time of combat. So there's a lot of challenges that those dudes face trying to get into women and men. I apologize, but actually 95 of our 100 and some people are women. So women veterans. My wife is a big women veteran advocate because she herself is one. But
She's not out in the parking lot, is she?
no, she's not in the parking lot.
She dropped you off there, right?
I drove.
You said you weren't texting and driving.
He
Oh, I
was at a
wasn't
red light.
texting and driving.
Oh, I misunderstood what you were saying then, okay.
I wasn't driving.
Okay.
Safety first.
I
Um,
don't do it. I either let her drive, or if I'm driving here, text them, will you?
I try to do the same thing. And you said voice to text was great.
Well,
But the challenges that I can see that we're gonna face coming up is not the people, right? I'm gonna be able to get the people
yeah.
because I have a huge veteran
Yeah.
network. It's those employers that are trying to hire,
Do you
right?
charge the employer or the?
The employer.
Okay.
So
So
it's
they-
gonna be like a standard executive recruiting firm, but we're not trying to go with like the VP level recruiting. I'm not looking for the $250,000 to $500,000 jobs a year. I'm talking like, we're looking in that 60,000 to 120 range where it's a mid-level guy who either, you know, has the experience or the degree to match what they're looking
I'll
for.
take one of those.
And, right?
120,000?
How does the, I forget the name of the tax credit for hiring veterans, so how does that resonate?
WOTC, Workers' Opportunity Tax Credit.
So, you know, sadly, you'd think that most people would know about that tax credit.
No.
There's a lot that don't.
Yeah.
You know why they don't? I don't want to get into politics, but it's political. Yeah.
So on that note, I was the at that advertising agency that we were talking about. I was the first veteran that they'd ever hired. They had no idea what to do with me. They were lost. And I'm like, look, I'm just a regular dude. Like, put me on a phone. Let me start talking to people. And
Just don't make loud noises around.
right. But the difference is I had this work ethic that they weren't used to. Right. They're used to these people that are just, oh, come in 9 o'clock, leave at 5 o'clock. I'm like,
Quarter of.
there's still tough stuff to be done, right? So I've always been that forward-thinking kind of guy, and that's why we decided that. Like I explained to them, hey, have you ever heard about this tax credit? And they got me at a recruiting event for veterans,
Wow.
and they didn't know about it.
Yeah,
So-
it's pretty significant.
It is. It's a good credit. But my point is, the challenges I see are getting to those businesses. Beating the
There's-
streets.
You know, by the way, I wish you'd been there Tuesday night because I got talking to a guy from the VA, and he was talking about the rehab, vocational rehab, voc rehab program, which is if a veteran is disabled or injured in any way, and that can be mentally too. But,
PTSD.
all you have to have is a disability rating.
yeah, disability rating. There is that's a program I was telling you about where they pay half the salary for the first 3 months.
Yes.
And you put that together with a WOTC, which means they don't pay Social
Wow.
Security or Medicare for like the first year. You know, you can hire a veteran. Now, unfortunately, that program, the guy who ran it has just retired. And they haven't replaced him yet.
Interesting.
So that program's just hanging out there in limbo.
So interesting.
But you know, what you said is right. The reason that people don't know anything's going on because there's all this money being spent, but nobody's watching it.
Right.
People are just taking the money. You know,
They
it's
don't know
very
where to put
corrupt.
it either. They're having trouble with that.
Yeah.
The VA as a whole is, and you know, again, that's political. I don't want to really get into
It
that.
is, yeah.
But I do feel like voc rehab is really cool too. So you know, everybody knows about the GI Bill. One thing they probably didn't tell you is that you have to have time on your GI Bill to get rehab, to get voc rehab. But you can use your voc rehab like a GI Bill, and you can go to school on the voc rehab.
That was all, which we were discussing.
Which is so cool, yeah. So you don't have to use your GI Bill. You can use voc rehab.
Save your GI Bill or pass it along
You
to
can't-
somebody.
Well, so as long as if you're still in the military, you can pass it along. If you're out of the military, you can't pass it
Sure.
along anymore. But if you have this voc rehab plan, and I don't know all my wife knows so much more about it than I do. Again, I told John this year that she's my analytical beast. Like she does I'm the guy going and knocking on doors, talking to people, but yeah, she's good people.
So let's get into sales and Sandler training today.
So.
A little bit.
Sure.
Sounds great, though.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And by the way, Andrew is a very shy, retiring person. You can tell by he's not good. He's very uncomfortable talking to people.
I was just gonna say, I don't think I've ever been in that
Problem.
Which you can tell he's going to be good at this. So,
John, I gotta run. We got a meeting next week. But,
okay. Well, I wanted you. He needs you to talk to you because that's a real story we were telling you about. That
Okay.
wasn't made up. So,
yes. Okay. Time about me. Time for something other. All right.
All right, thanks for joining us, Donovan.
Yeah.
We're here every Thursday.
Hi, Gibby.
You're entitled to this too. It's part of your deal.
I'm entitled.
Every Thursday.
You're so entitled. I
Okay.
know.
Well, you paid for it, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, very good. Nice meeting you all.
Nice
Yeah.
meeting
Take
you.
care. All right, we'll see ya.
Bye.
Okay, so
Bye. Mhm.
getting back into problems. So what do I want to work on here? No compelling reason to buy, that's too easy. Price too high.
Closing.
Closing.
Let's work on closing.
Tell me about your latest challenge closing.
That is the challenge.
Tell me what it is.
Yeah.
What's
I
going
don't
on?
know the timing of it, the timing of closing. So I found the pain. Then what? Or I let them go home with the information, or I do this, or I do that.
She's leading right into my presentation for today. How about that?
It's the magic plan, I guess.
That's good, because I need to know like that segue too. Like, when do you stop talking? Obviously, we found that out last week that I talked a little bit too much to get into the close. So this is good for me.
All right. Did we have any wins and losses anybody wanted to share first? We can come
I
back to
went
that.
to voicemail jail.
Yes.
That counts.
But he called you.
He did call me,
Yeah.
but then I went right back into voicemail jail.
Okay, how do the compartments interact? This is what you're asking, right?
Up and down.
How do they interact, right? How do we get from one to the next? I wanted to show this to Andrew first. There are 7 compartments in the sales system.
Okay.
Bonding and reporting, making an upfront contract, finding the pain, finding out how much they want to spend to fix it, who's going to make the decision, closing, which is what fulfillment is in a way, is, fixing the problems and getting the deal, and then post-sell, making sure they don't go off and change their mind.
Sure.
Right? That guy keeps calling me too. Scam likely?
Mr. Likely? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how do they interact? First of all, I think it's obvious that upfront contract goes right into bonding and rapport. Wouldn't you agree?
Mhm.
If I say to you, Andrew, look, how much time do we got? We got like 40 minutes
Together?
Yeah, you and I are going to be talking about working together today. Like you become a
Yeah.
franchise or something. We got 40 minutes. I'm going to have some questions for you, obviously, and I'm sure you're going to have questions for me. So, what do you want to put on the agenda? And blah blah blah. Okay, and what are we hoping to come out with at the end of this? What does that look like? I see that we're either going to move forward, or we're going to decide this isn't right. The one thing I do want to avoid is you say, geez, I need to think about it. Because I know what I need to think about it means. That's no. 95% of the time, that's a no. And they're just being nice. They just want to tell you, you don't have to be nice. If it's a no, you can say,
I have a question on that.
deal?
Deal.
Fair?
Fair.
Okay.
Did we just make a deal?
That's an upfront
contract.
That's an upfront contract. What was in there?
Time,
agenda,
outcome.
Outcome.
No, it's a no.
Right? Time, agenda, outcome, no is okay.
Yeah.
All right. You with me, Jenny?
Yep, I'm with you.
Okay. So that immediately, how did you feel after going through that? I told you it's okay for me.
It's good sometimes to be able to just say no and not get backlash from it.
Yeah.
You feel less pressure?
Yes,
Like you don't-
100%.
Like this guy's gonna, okay, we're no longer, this guy's selling me, now we're just talking to see if we got a legitimate match.
Yep.
And that's the purpose of the meeting. I've even said those words. I've said,
Just so you know, I'm taking notes.
absolutely, this is recorded, I'll send you the recording.
Okay.
I've said so, look, this is not me selling you today. I'm here to find out if we got a legitimate match. And if we don't, if either one of us sees that it's not a legitimate match, please, if I see it, I'll raise up, go, you know what, you're not a match for me. Likewise, if you see that, put your hand up and say, this is not for me, and we'll stop. And I notice I said, fair? What's the whole point of saying fair?
Get them to agree. Oh,
Denise
nailed
gets a
it.
gold star. They just agreed with me.
Yeah.
So you get them in the habit of agreeing with you, right?
Oh, can you screenshot it real quick? Screenshot it.
On the camera, that's a hell of a number, man. I don't know what that one is. Oh, that's a long number. Okay, anyway, so the upfront contract immediately establishes bonding and rapport. It lowers the wall. The wall comes down. The purpose of bonding and rapport is to stop being on the opposite side of the table, but to virtually move over to the other side so you're standing next to it and you're both looking at the problem trying to figure it
Virtually.
out virtually. Well, yeah, you know, sometimes you actually do it. Well, let me come over there and look what you got, especially with computers and stuff. So how do we go from that to paying?
That transition is fun, if you know how to do it.
Well, he did it. What did Donovan do?
You just start asking
You
questions.
just
That's right.
ask.
He just said, tell me more about that, right?
What do you want?
Right? How much does that cost? Is that gonna cost you money?
Right, have you tried it?
I mean,
Did it work?
I don't know if that worked. You know, I mean, if you're now scared of losing some more or less.
Terrified,
Okay,
but we always are.
okay. So that's how, and then he actually got into how much it costs you. What,
Mhm.
remember I had that number? What's it gonna cost you to replace Jason? So what does that do? Now that
Quantifies it.
it
Yeah,
quantifies it,
It's right up there in
and it goes right into the next compartment, doesn't it?
the budget.
So how much have you set aside to fix this problem?
Mhm.
Do you have a budget? Do you have a budget?
Do I have a budget?
Does Net Complete have a budget to replace, to put in health?
I don't know.
Okay, which is one of the three answers you get.
Yeah.
Right? What are the three answers?
Yes, no, I don't know. Maybe.
No. Yes, no, and I don't know are the same.
Okay.
I don't know if we have a budget. And yes, but I can't tell you.
Oh, yeah.
They'll sometimes say that, and that means that they don't fully trust you. Well, yeah, we have a budget, but I don't want to share that. I don't have permission to share. So that means you
Well, I
probably
didn't
need,
want to say that to you,
I
so.
talk about that particular comment, isn't it?
No, no,
because you're busy.
No, sir.
Any updates?
no, Dad.
No, I was.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you have a budget set aside for healthcare?
I just now recently did it. I do.
So what's the number? Do you have a round number?
Not a round number. I can dope out what I want to spend on
That's
that.
a round number.
Yes.
To us non-tech.
I'm
that's
probably
around
willing to spend about $700.
701. Okay, so now you got something to start with.
That's me. You're back now. You were frozen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got your text. All right.
They also down here, you said wins and losses a minute ago.
We haven't gotten to wins and losses yet. We're going to do that.
I'll
though.
leave it at 1050. So just,
Are you picking up your own?
I think my dad would
Would you like to do a win and loss first right now then?
Six out of 2 minutes.
Let's hear it.
So I think design group, hosted White, they signed it yesterday. And Lincoln Property got another hosted White for Lincoln Property. Again, both current clients added hosted White to the network. We go with them, it's another $900 a month. Again,
Okay, so
they called me and said we need,
did you use any of the techniques that you learned? No? So this class hasn't helped today. Oh.
I didn't have to use this, they just called. Lincoln, they can't get anything else because AT&T won't offer them copper line in their apartment complex. And they called complaining, and I said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I can give you guys the hosted VoIP. They said, okay, we'll do it.
But you did say, what do you want to do?
Pain.
So you asked some questions.
Yeah.
Well, I said, well, basically, what do you want me to do? I mean, it's because the AT&T can't give you what they said they can give you what. So I said, what do you want me to do? I said, I can give you hosted VoIP. They said, okay, let's do it. And then the other company, our design group,
Okay, Sonia Narvaez, who's right down here at 50 and Dean, just bought a whole bunch of Apple computers. She's tired of dealing with Windows 7, so she just bought a whole bunch of Apple computers.
so sorry for
That's so do I. I told her, I said, you have my deepest sympathies for her network, in her office. She says, I just want the security. I said, you went to Apple?
Yeah.
That's the same company that the ad agency used. They used all Mac computers, and it was solely because I promise you it's because they like the way they look. I was like,
No, because they're artsy fartsy people.
they definitely were.
I would tell you this, ask our superior when it comes to that kind of work,
You need
The
for,
art.
For our designers, absolutely.
yeah, but
For what I was doing?
But for admin, no.
No. When I was sitting, all I needed to know was who I was supposed to call through a bank.
That's admin. You spend a lot more money for a Mac than you do for a PC.
And I would argue,
Triple.
listen, I put in, my brother back in the 90s wanted me to update his computer system. In his, he runs a print shop, he runs a printing company, Blue Course, Mid-York Press. So I went up there, and of course, I wanted to put in a whole bunch of big, Windows workstations, Windows 98. I wanted to put in there. And they said, no, we've got it. So I bought all these Mac Quadras for them, because they were they're graphic designers. We have to have Mac. We've got to have all the Mac products. So I set up these two big, big screen, like Quadra workstations for them so they could do all that. And then I put in a couple of PCs. Just put a couple PCs over there just so they'd have them, so they could have, like, they worked better with AOL, and they were using AOL a lot then for their online presence. It was the 90s. So I went back there, and we went up there like shortly after we were married, and I walk in there, and they're all using those two PCs.
Yeah.
The Mac things were just sitting there doing nothing. So, but anyway, can you help her?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'll introduce you to her.
Robert and Jason. Well, we know how to use the Mac. I don't for some. If someone calls us and says we got Macs, can you help us? Yeah, well, Jason was doing that. So that's where Jason is this morning. One of our clients, the MacBook Pro. Gotta get it so you get to the server file that's on the Windows.
Well, she's got 7 computers networked, and she said that the Windows 7 was just driving her crazy. And I said, why didn't you just upgrade to 10? And she said, well, it was really expensive. I said,
What if you just start these Macs?
buying 7 new Macs.
$160 for upgrade license. Right.
Yeah, so, but it's too late.
Yeah.
Instead of 3,000 per computer.
She said that they were also old, funky computers. That
What kind of is she have?
CPS. She's a CPS. So I'll introduce you. Okay, so pain to budget to decision. So, for example, you've got quantified pain, so that gets you into budget. So you know what their budget is. You can say, okay, like it's going to cost you $4,000 a month to replace Jason for a while. So you're saying you're willing to spend $700 to avoid paying that $4,000. Fair enough. I might go a little higher. I mean, if it came out to be $1,000.
Well, I'm getting him already also on top of that, so.
Okay, so it's costing you. Okay, so it's going to cost you $700 plus the
But the
rate.
healthcare is part of it. I already plan on giving the raise.
Well, you got Donovan's card? He can help you.
Yeah, I'm
with
gonna
some.
send it.
He has creative solutions. It's not pure insurance.
Well, I look at the same thing that I met through BNI. The point is, I don't know the best scenario, so Jason has to decide what he wants.
Yeah,
Because he's making the ultimate decision.
What I'm seeing lately is that it's not all about the insurance. You want to get actually improving their health.
Right.
So you have these programs where they have to check in with a doctor on the website once a month.
A lot of people are going that way.
Yeah, and it's reducing costs big time. So, okay, so then we get into the decision by, okay, you have the authority to spend that?
Yes.
Oh, no, obviously you're a decision maker. Who besides yourself would be in on that decision?
Not one person. No, not one person
I don't make decisions for the company.
at all.
So you have a CPA?
Unless he's buying cars for people or something.
Yeah, but
That's different. And I'm like, how am I
only
gonna work
not to
here?
help with this stuff, only to file the sales tax.
Only to do the tax.
Sales tax, that's it.
And if there was a 27-page contract you had to sign, would you review that yourself?
I've never had to have, has happened, but I would not.
Who would review the contract for you?
I'd have to probably find someone.
Do you have a lawyer now?
No, but I know one of my advocates I could get involved if I needed to.
And what's his other name?
Chris.
Is that a guy or a girl?
Guy.
Yeah, okay, should we have Chris here then?
Sure, sorry, contract, that's fine.
There you go.
So now you know the cast of characters.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if there's a 27-page contract.
I know, but you asked the right question.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's happened to me.
Yeah.
I told you about that deal I had in California. The guy said, I am absolutely the decision maker. I have the authority to do this. The boss told me. He told me if I said do it, do it. And he said, and he did. He told the boss, you do it. Here, sign the contract. The contract. This is 27 pages long. I'm going to have a lawyer review it.
Well, of course, yeah, I mean, I would just say, no way I was having a big contract, but somebody, sure, that's lawyer.
Right.
Yeah, of
There's
course.
something about legal, something. about it.
Yeah.
And my little agreement, my books had like two big pages.
My
So
legal
we
agreement
don't
account
have
doesn't do that for me.
See, so that's why decision step is where I get fooled all the time.
Because they don't, not honest with you.
Because they lie. And sometimes they don't even know they're lying. They make the decision.
They really think
Right.
that.
And then they
Then
get,
when it comes right down to it, they don't.
well, they want help. They're always involved in the decision, but some of us get to a point where like, wait, okay, before I make this decision, I'm gonna get some help.
Yeah, that's true.
What does a smart business person do? If you got to that, you would go get some help. You're a smart businessman, okay? So you can even say that to somebody. I mean, you're not gonna get help. You're a smart businessman. You wouldn't have a lawyer review a big lengthy contract for you.
That's good. I like that.
You know, what would a smart business person do? They would get some help. So that's the part of the decision set. Now, here we are to where you want it.
Yeah.
You got the pain.
Finally.
You got, well,
I'm
if we want to speed up the sale, what do we do?
joking. That was good. What?
If we want to speed up the sale, what do we do?
Slow down. Slow down the
He has
process.
that rule emblazoned across the back of his brain there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we got the pain. So you say to somebody, all right, Janice, you're the homeowner. I'm gonna come in and fix your. Is this for the interior design or is this for lighting?
I love it.
Okay, Denise, you're worried about, you want to alter your DNA, to get you want to live longer and look younger.
Yeah, I don't want to get what my parents had.
Yeah, you don't want to look like I do. So,
Here.
so we've got that. We want to fix that. We want to fix that. We want to fix that. You said you're willing to spend this much money. Well, I think we got a plan for that. And is anyone else going to be making the decision? You're making the decision?
I'm making this.
Okay, so we've got that. You got this much money, and you're making a decision. What do you want to do?
Make a decision.
What decision? Suppose we
Sign
start.
up.
You want to sign up?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Are you sure? I mean, if I push the thing in front of you here to sign and you sign up, you would sign it?
Yeah, like
No.
if you had your tablet right now.
But not today.
No, today. Today's
You do it right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
as long as I can pick the date on when it comes or whatever.
Here you go. Now, what is so hard about that?
See? Because I wasn't on the other end. I was doing me.
I agree.
It's easy for her to buy stuff. That's not a big deal. She can buy all day long. I can have that.
It's easy to be the prospect.
Is that the pain or the budget?
You're preaching.
They're
You're
both.
No,
preaching
I'm
to the
not
choir.
I'm not that easy of an sell, but I mean, the way you phrased it made it easier.
Well, how do you phrase it? I'll do it backwards. Says, you know what? I'm really interested in this. I want to look younger. I want to extend my life. I want to start taking that antioxidant stuff or whatever it is you have. You told me it's only going to be about $50.
Mhm.
So what do I need to do?
So do you need permission to buy what you need?
Is there any decision makers?
Well, what is another creative way to say decision maker?
Who makes that decision?
Yeah.
Or,
Are you the decision?
You control the money of the house.
Are you the decision maker?
Yeah, are you the decision maker?
Do you get any help?
To get any help? To get help?
I need help.
No, are you the only decision maker? You can actually make that decision.
Well, this is within my purview. I mean, we're talking $50 a month. I can afford $50.
Okay.
I don't have to ask my husband permission.
Yeah, I don't have to ask my husband's permission.
And are you willing to try this for 5 months?
It's allowable now.
Right, are you?
Not that there's anything wrong with
5
that.
months for $50 a month, that's easy.
Are you-
$250.
Yeah, are you willing to commit to 5 months?
Is that what I have to
You know,
do?
you didn't age overnight, so you were not gonna be repaired overnight, so you have to be willing. I recommend you, because if you
In
don't.
my
want-
first marriage, I aged overnight.
If you don't wanna commit to 5 months, then, it's probably not a good idea, but if you're willing to commit.
Okay, you're getting, don't lean in.
It's asking a question.
Don't lean in like your body language. We're like, you want
Okay,
like
so.
okay. What you want to say is,
Yeah, if you're willing to commit, if you're willing to commit, for 5
Okay,
months.
Mariah. You just want to say, I did tell you that we recommend a 5-month commitment.
Yeah,
Is that going to be a problem?
I love that, but I always forget to ask that.
Is that going to be a problem?
Caps?
It's recommended at least a 5-month fence down there. Is that gonna be a problem?
We do recommend at least,
5 months.
Well, and you explain the why, because as soon as someone asks you why, you explain it right away. You're like, it didn't take you a night.
do you need,
Right.
but do you need to explain?
What if they ask?
Say like,
I mean,
okay,
if they ask, yeah.
go ahead, ask me.
Why would I need to commit to 5 months?
Well, I mean, what would you commit to? Do you think that's an unreasonable amount of time?
If you're asking me, it's $250, no. But
Okay, so
Right.
what was I doing to him?
asking questions.
Yeah, okay, not okay.
I don't know what you were doing to him.
I answered his questions with,
Question.
I felt comfortable.
Okay.
that's called reversing.
Answer
I
question with
reversed it,
question.
okay? And
No, I like your, explanation of why. I mean, because that to me,
but it sounded sales pitchy though.
No,
See,
no.
Okay, all right, how about, what did you get
I'm
his question? What if
asking-
I told you,
Right, right, yeah.
what if I told
Have
you
you
that,
explained it to me.
what if I told you that we haven't seen people get consistent results unless they do it for at least 5 months?
That's a quick, easy.
Would that make sense?
Well,
That's a good,
no, the product, it doesn't, because some people get, what do you mean consistent?
Consistent.
listen to what he's saying. Say it again.
See, some people get results right away, but what if I told you we know that there are some people that don't get consistent results,
Visible,
consistent visible results up to 5 months? I mean, you wouldn't want to just do it for 2 months and then quit, and we wouldn't want you to do that, because then
Okay.
you're going to run around telling everybody this stuff sucks.
Exactly, right.
And that's why, so we do recommend a 5-month commitment. Is that going to be a problem?
Right. I think it's easier to say 5 months, but it's actually per decade you've been alive, per month. So if you're 70, 7 months. If you're 20, 2 months. It's
Okay,
the full
well-
potential of it.
Whatever you need.
Put it in 5 months.
So you have to ask
5
us.
months sounds, yeah, that's me too. but yeah.
Look, just this conversation has me sold on the product. What is it?
That's amazing.
Can I get your number?
Oh, it's funny.
That's too funny.
Although that's Axiom.
This is just a brain food drink. It's not what we're talking about.
The brain freeze drink?
Brain food.
Brain,
This is my brain food drink.
Yeah.
Is it coffee?
Kojo.
okay,
It's what
so
starts me going.
do you
Yeah.
feel a little more comfortable closing?
I do, because you simplified it for me. I always make it complicated. As you can see, how complicated.
Well, see, I think
Just point out that they're actually ready by going over what you talked about. So you have your budget, and you are the decision maker, and so what do we do now?
the rule I want you to remember is sell today, educate tomorrow.
Okay, you said
See,
that.
you have a lot of knowledge in your head that you are excited about your product.
Mhm.
And you want to share that knowledge with them.
I think it's more on the post seller, because I don't want somebody to just go, oh, now I'm done, and I was on it 2 weeks, and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so yeah, that's actually getting into your post sale with the 5-month thing. So, I got to tell you right now, yes, I'm willing. Yes, I am allowed to sell you just like a week's worth of the product. I have made it a policy not to do that. Would you like to know why?
Mhm. Okay, I'm
Well, then you don't
allowed.
even have to explain the why later.
Right.
If you
But
say
no,
up
they
front.
might not. They're going to ask, yeah, why? I said, well, because we haven't seen consistent results. Some people get results right away, but there are some people it takes longer. And I want to know that you're willing to be patient with me and give it that length of time. Is that going to be a problem?
Okay.
Are you okay with that? You can just say that. Are you okay with it?
I don't know if you have a key. 5 minutes.
So that's where I'm going is you want to get them to the point where they realize you're not just there to sell them a product and go away. you want to work with them over a length of time,
Yes.
and you want to observe the results. Now,
This is not my fourth donut, by the way. It's not.
what do you do if they go 5 months and nothing's happened?
That usually doesn't happen.
That hasn't happened yet?
No.
Is there, do you have a contingency for that?
Yes. So it doesn't matter whether you see the results or feel the results. Go take your blood test. You'll know the results. Yeah.
That's a sales pitch.
No, I know, but I don't know how to put it in any other way.
Well, you make it as a question.
Uh,
So you don't see the results, you don't feel the results, would you like to go take a blood test?
Okay.
You
So
think we,
this question.
you think we could find out if your antioxidant levels are down or wherever they're supposed to be, your HDLs and LDLs?
Your telomeres, yeah.
I mean, have you been to your doctor? Did your
Right.
doctor say you're more healthy or not?
Right.
And so when you say you aren't feeling better, really, I mean, has there been stressful things going on in your life lately? 'Cause that's-
Yeah.
Like, did your house just blow up all day?
Oh, no.
Not mine.
Did you get woke up by the kitten patrol at 5:30 this morning?
No, a little spider was calling at 3:20.
Spider.
Spider was calling on my arm, and that woke me up at 3.
Oh.
That would
You didn't get
that would
back
never
to
wake me
sleep.
up.
You didn't tell me that.
Just stick the cat on it.
The cat's probably brought it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That spider wouldn't have been there if it weren't for the cats.
This is good, John. Thank you.
All right, so fix that. What's the traditional way of selling? Actually, we're not going to have time to do this. We're going to have, yeah, it's 10:48 already. We're not going to be able to get into the whole executive briefing. We're going to have to see it next week. No, this is good. We did a problem solve.
I think we'll be back on with you next week. Jason will be back tomorrow.
Knock on wood.
Jason was out sick yesterday, so he's doing his service calls today, which was weird today. You know, he's out today. I just about parents and doctors today, so it's a whack day for me.
John, when is this happening?
It's next week.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want
So
to
we
make
hear.
sure.
I haven't put in the date.
So do you want us to invite you to this?
That's a blank one. I need to fill in, you know, like when and where, and they're going to
Well,
put a
email
little.
me a copy of it. I'll make sure I announce it at BNI first of all.
Okay, good idea.
Okay. When's B&I?
Wednesday morning.
All right, good. I'll make sure you have one before then. And they can join via, you know,
Yeah, we just put the web, just put the link on, the link on it.
so look at this real quick,
Mhm.
okay? Everybody look down real quick.
I get trained.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Who thinks they can tell me what all the
Oh, I wasn't
questions
looking
are?
at it. I was thinking, can you flash it back real quick?
No.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit more about that.
Can
Okay,
you be
that's-
more specific?
Can you be more,
Can you give me an example? Okay, what's next after that?
did you try,
Skip to one.
how
How long is it? How long is it?
How did that work for you?
long is,
No, how long has it been a problem? It's the next one.
Oh, how long?
try to resolve?
What have you tried to fix it?
And how is
My
that
last
working?
resort.
How is that working?
Did that work is what they actually say. But yeah, you're saying, did that work? See, how much do you think this cost you? And then, have you given up? How do you feel about that?
And
Have you given up trying to fix it?
How do you feel about? That's one I always need.
And now, again, these are suggestions. Your own pain point questions are going to be different than that. That's just the order. Okay? Because we do want to get it down to the point where it's quantified, personal pain. So they know not only how much it's costing them, but how much it's going to affect them personally if they don't fix it. Now, if you get to that point and there's, like we have here, no compelling reason to buy. Suppose they have a pain that doesn't cost them that much, and it isn't going to cost them that much if they don't fix it. Well, what do we do then?
Wait, what did you ask?
We get down to the bottom of the funnel and we realize that they have a little.
Well, we haven't found the pains. We have to actually try to go back and do it again.
Or do they have any?
You know, it could also be that maybe things aren't as bad. They aren't bad enough that we need to help them.
Right.
You know, if you go up to a professional athlete who's on a regimented diet and nutritional program,
Right,
probably not gonna be interested in light management.
that's odd, because they are, they're health conscious, because
See you later. Lock up these.
it's not about the food, it's not about the exercise. It's about aging.
It's about aging.
And athletes age, just like, and the long, do they want to perform longer?
But see, that's what they've got them on, is programs to do that.
Don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I know what I'm talking about too.
Well, good luck selling them. Let me know. how
Well,
that
no,
goes.
I'm just saying.
So, but the point is, if you get down to the bottom of the pain funnel and it's really not, you don't have a compelling reason to buy, do you keep going? No.
You're not a match.
What?
What was
You're
it?
not a match.
They're not a match.
Right.
At least not now.
Right.
Right,
Maybe later.
right. That's your.
In our situation, Ginny and I could be talking to somebody that they got an HR problem, but it's not time critical.
Right.
It's costing. They can't tell what it's costing them, and it's not. The pain's not enough to change. Remember,
Right.
nothing happens to the pain of changing less than the pain of staying the same. So, for example, there's a company that we're dealing with right now in California who knows it's getting to that fund. But they also know it's going to cost them, it's going to be a real hassle to switch PEOs. So they're waiting till the end of the year to do it. Get all the end of the year stuff done first. And I guess they think suddenly everything's going to be easy and quiet in January. But, or actually in December, because they're going to have to switch the month before. Because December's a nice quiet month. There's nothing going on in December.
Right.
Contracts with your clients?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Not me personally. Very rarely do I have a contract with my client personally. If we put them with the PEO definitely has a contract.
But, okay, but you're still there. And what about your competition? Do they make, I don't know how that works, contract. I don't know, your clients, you just find and then connect to somebody else.
Yeah.
You're not contracted to them. They're not contracted to you.
I've never had to have a personal contract with the client unless I'm providing them services.
Okay,
So when we're getting paid for just being a broker, we get paid by
here,
now we got a contract with the PEO.
there you go.
Yes, because they're paying us. I want to make sure they keep paying us.
Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
And our contract's one of the meanest in the business. They hate my contract
So why do they go with you?
because we have the cookie.
Okay, good.
We got the cookies. We're the 500-pound gorilla. We have all the business. If they don't go with us, they lose all the business that we could bring to them. But there's 27 paragraphs of that contract, and I tell them that every one of those paragraphs is about some place where a PEO either tried to or successfully screwed a broker.
Ah,
So every one of those contracts applies to a place where maybe not me, but somebody got screwed, and this contract is going to prevent that. And a lot of them look at some of the clauses and go, I don't want to sign that. I said, why? Do you anticipate that happening?
yeah. You post though that because you told them that this is the way it's done, and then when they fall into the trap of, well, I don't want to sign that, and you say, well, why? Because you were planning on it.
Are you planning on doing that?
Yeah, you call them out.
Do you see that happening?
Probably
See that happening? Yeah.
Yeah, I say,
Yeah.
do you see this?
Don't.
Do you see, like, there's one contract that really, one paragraph that says that if you sell your book of business, you will tell the new PEO that they have to pay us. If you don't, if the new PEO doesn't pay us, you're paying us 2 years commission. And they go, well, I'm not going to sign that. I said, why? Because you're not going to tell the new buyer about us?
Right.
And most of them say, like, no, they're not buying our broker relationships. I go, yes, guess what? They are now. If you want business from us, they're buying your broker relationship. And there's a whole bunch of them. Because that's why they're just starting up the company. They want to build up, they want to bail out, sell it, and get their money, and screw everybody. They don't care, especially about salesmen. Because it's okay to screw a salesman. right?
That's what they think anyway.
Right.
That's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not lie except to salesmen.
Right.
You've heard the story about the guy who went to heaven, right?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, Eric tells the story. He was at home one night. He gets a phone call. It's from Arthur Murray Dance Studio. I want to ask if he wants to dance lessons. And he says, no, yeah, I am interested. Actually, we're about to have dinner. Can you call back later? And he hears, she's going to the script part. Oh, I'll call back later. She starts, and she keeps going into this. And finally she says, do you really want to be that one family member that's embarrassed at the next family function, such as your wedding, and you can't get up and dance with your wife? And he says, lady, I only got one leg. And hung up the phone. And his daughter says, Danny, you have two legs. Oh, that was a salesman. So the next morning, he's backing out the car out the driveway, and bam, one of the garbage trucks comes around the corner and T-bones him. And he's in the hospital, and he doesn't remember much, but he wakes up, and he's in this big white room. And there's a person there who looked like Charlton Heston and said, I've been reviewing your file. We only have up to like the last 12 hours. Is there anything you want to update us with before I say whether you can get in or out? He says, well, I did lie to an Arthur Murray Dance Studio salesman last night. I told her I had one leg. He goes, it's okay to lie to a salesman. Come on in.
Exactly.
Now, is that story true?
No.
I highly doubt it.
No.
But it's a good story. It's a good story.
Makes a point.
That's a good story.
Makes a point.
It's okay to lie to salesmen. People think it's okay to lie to salesmen. I've done it myself. 2 days ago. You caught me on it. One of the mold remediation guy came in, and I'd been warned, look out, they're scammers. They want to sell you all this to come in and do all this mold remediation and charge you a lot of money. I told them, well, we already got a client who does that.
No.
And
Did
we
you say
don't.
something right there?
No,
No.
No, but she looked at me. And I said, we don't have a client.
That's funny.
So,
That mold remediation guy just went around like, ooh, is my competition out?
Yeah.
oh, there's thousands of them. If you Google mold
Luckily, he
remedy
didn't ask
scam,
you.
80,000 pages of scams, and there's one in there that says, remember, mold is gold.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we didn't do wins and losses, but that's okay. So this week, I want you to see if you can observe how different compartments interact with each other. Try to do your transitions from compartment to compartment, and come back next week with a win or a loss based on that. Okay, why do we do wins and losses?
So.
To motivate you.
Accountability.
Do you go out and do something so next week you can come back in here and share a win or loss with us? Okay. Lessons learned. Oh, I'm not sharing. Ginny's not seeing this. Oops. Lessons learned. Who's got a lesson learned? I know you had one you wrote down.
Yeah, the closing. Learn to say, is there going to be a problem with that, or something like that?
Will that be a
Will that be a problem?
and that's all tonality, by the way.
Yeah.
Will that be a problem?
Yeah.
You want to go?
You got that.
You got a problem with that?
Right.
You got a problem with that?
That's why texting is bad, because people read their own.
Yep. I argue with my wife all the time about that.
Yeah.
Why are you yelling at me? I'm not yelling at you.
Yeah.
I'm just yelling at you. Like,
Read it in my kind voice.
I am not yelling. I am raising my voice.
oh, I'm not mad at you. It's you are your tone. I was like, it's a text.
She never raises her voice at me, but I can tell when she's right.
Sell today and tomorrow.
Yes, that's a good one. How about you, Ginny? Got one?
I think my biggest one was when you're in the close and you are trying to wrap things up with them, asking them if they are the final decision maker. So if I hand this to you right now, we've gone through everything. Everything seems to be a match so far. When I hand this to you now, Are you in a position to sign it, or do you have to have somebody else sign with you?
Kind of wordy, but like, can you sign this or do you need help?
I know. I'm learning that I talk a lot.
Take
Yeah,
it
we're
from
all
me.
learning that.
I'm an expert at talking a lot.
I have to learn to paraphrase. There's my lesson learned. I have to learn to paraphrase.
At the Veterans Food Club, the two guys who are helping people get new, to establish a new business, they asked me, well, what do you do? And so I was kind of struggling with that, explaining. So now I'm going to ask them, well, do you have employees? Are they perfect?
Yeah.
And so that's a good lead off. It's more conversational than just, oh, we're matchmakers. We connect business owners with companies that do the payroll, workers' comp, HR. That's boring, you know. It has to be more of a question and more interactive, I think, because I do struggle with that. Just meeting people at a networking meeting and then explaining what I do it is hard.
A good example, we have a problem explaining what we do. I'm sure you're going to find that out. Jenny, you're going to find it out. Dwayne, who was just here, and you are now clients of ours, but he's been coming to my networking group since 2005. He didn't know I could fix the problem he had. He had to go to you went somewhere else like Paychecks First or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did that. How many years have you been
Since 2005?
Since 2005, he's been coming to our group, but he didn't know. So Kathleen's right. For us to explain what we do, that's why I don't even, you know what, I'm not even doing the matchmaker thing anymore. Not first level. The first thing, as I say, is our little tagline. We help employers deal with the cost and risk of having employees.
But still, you have to
Yes.
explain that. It's
Yeah.
like, well.
No, now you go to the question.
Right.
You go, you know someone who has employees? Are they perfect?
I really
Are
think
all the bases covered?
gold.
That's a good one too. Are all
Well,
the
you made a
bases-
lot of sense sitting in the coffee shop. You were like Mitch, the guy who owns the coffee shop.
Yeah.
I know he's got employees. I know they're not perfect.
Yeah, that's
You
a
know,
good point.
and he's like, then you started explaining it,
Yeah.
which to me was like, oh,
You gotta,
makes a lot of sense.
you gotta get them into the, you know, you gotta, it's like a phone. You gotta get people funneled down to where they're now ready to hear your 30-second commercial. Now, in a networking group, they're already ready.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting there talking, you have to do a little rapport building. And the rapport could be just getting them in the right frame of mind to understand what you're talking about. Like Donovan didn't do that. No, he's new. Well, I'll work on it. But he just started asking pain questions right away. And I'm still wondering, like, what do you do? Weren't you?
See, we already knew because you've given us that heads up.
I did.
Well, I,
Yeah.
I didn't know what he did.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
When I walked in late, I had no idea what he does. I still don't really understand what he does. But
he
that's
has,
fine.
I'm
I'm
gonna,
okay with that.
to put it simply, he does creative health solutions, which involves more than just the insurance, but the actual healthcare and the wellness. And Denise is freezing.
yeah.
It is chilly in here. So, did you have a lesson learned?
Yeah.
Oh, what's he
Yeah, I
thinking
do
as
that
well?
too.
Okay.
One lesson. I'm gonna go look for that. I'm okay. You're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never read the book.
Well, I'm going to. That's one thing.
You know what, Will, you are right. I did read the book years ago. I don't have it anymore, though.
Okay, so we did talk about it because I remember you were out on
We
your
did. I forgot.
patio there. I remember us talking,
Yep.
and we could hear the
Yep.
guy roofing in the background.
So
Yep.
I think the biggest lesson that I learned, you made like first thing you said when you started showing this brief was the upfront contract. Being able to say it's okay to say no.
Okay.
You don't have to beat around the bush. It's okay to tell me no. And I have a little story, and I know you know me well enough now. I think that I'm a storyteller. This morning I was on the Vetrepreneur group. Have you ever seen that on Facebook? So it's a veteran entrepreneurial group, and there's a bunch of people in there that are trying to get their businesses out there, and they do a lot of good stuff. Well, there's every once in a while you'll catch the guys doing the MLMs, which is totally fine with me. I'm okay. Like if you want to do it, it's not for me, but it's fine. And the thing that the guy kept doing is he kept going back and arguing with everybody that said no to it. And he would, you know, and I even sent him a private message. I was like, and he started arguing with Melissa. Melissa likes MLMs. She likes the way they work. I told you she's part of Young Living, but we don't really, like, we don't have a business with it. Now we're just to the point where we just make enough to buy the product.
Mm-hmm.
It is what we just call it even, right? But this guy, like, I just told him, I was like, you're arguing with somebody who is literally agreeing with you. You're so defensive because everybody else disagreed that when someone does, your immediate reaction is to argue with them. So I sent him a private message. I'm like, hey, dude, like, stop worrying about all the no's and focusing on the yes.
There you go.
Like, so that to me was like, it's that whole thing. Like, it's okay for somebody to tell you no, just move on.
Because you waste time with
It's okay to
those.
say no.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time when you try to convince a hard no to buy.
And you're
No.
going down a
All right,
negative.
we're 7 minutes over, so that's good. It's always good to go a little over. So next week, the executive briefing, please invite people to it. Could everyone bring one?
Okay.
Everyone bring one.
Bring your
And
plus ones.
bring your plus one to come to this meeting, and I will be going over exactly what Sandler is trying to accomplish. It won't be so much, we got into details today because we started solving problems, which is fine. But I do have one of these things for executive briefing too, which I will go through. And you've never seen one.
Nope.
You've never seen one. Donovan has. But
Do you want us to be careful with terminology? Is that what you mean earlier?
no, well, I was trying to act like you were first timers, like you've
Okay.
never seen it before, but you're not. You're all seasoned veterans. So. But next week, let's get some people here who haven't seen it, who want to learn, who are interested in improving their sales.
Okay.
There's three major areas that I focus on. One is qualifying people so you spend less time on the nose. Okay. Not being shopped, not quoting. And of course, the personality determinations, finding out how you need to treat people, how to, the questioning techniques. That's with all
Oh, yeah.
the disc and everything like that. But how do we ask people, what questions do you ask them? Because you got to be careful that you don't ask the wrong question or ask it in the wrong tonality. Like, you got a problem with that? You have a problem with that? That's not going to work. All right, so that's it. Thanks for joining us. Everybody you got the email so you can go read that?
Okay.
All right. See you all. Oh, Jenny, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.